The Manhattan glow, the streets of Manhattan glowed under a golden September sun. Yellow cabs rushed by, their horns echoing between tall glass towers. Shoppers spilled out of designer boutiques, carrying glossy bags that swung like jewelry in the light. Amid all this bustle, two familiar faces walked quietly, trying to look ordinary. But nothing about them could ever be ordinary. Millie Bobby Brown, the Stranger Things superstar, wore an oversized cream sweater tucked into high-waisted jeans, her blonde hair falling effortlessly around her face. Beside her, fiancé Jake Bongiovi, son of rock legend Jon Bon Jovi, matched her casual chic with a navy jacket and sneakers that screamed subtle luxury. In his hand was something unusual, not a designer bag, not a coffee cup, but a tiny pink diaper bag with cartoon clouds embroidered on the side. Paparazzi lenses clicked from across the street. At first, photographers thought it was a fashion stunt, another playful photo op. But then came the real surprise. From the stroller Jake gently pushed, a pair of tiny hands waved in the air. A baby, sweet, wide-eyed, and giggling, looked around at the city as though she owned it. The internet had questions instantly. Whose baby was this? Fans whispered in online threads. Rumors spread like wildfire. Was Millie secretly a mother? Was Jake hiding a family revelation? Or was this simply the newest plot twist in their glittering engagement story? Inside a cozy cafe on Madison Avenue, the couple sat with the stroller beside them. The baby laughed when Millie dangled a small stuffed elephant in front of her. Jake ordered oat milk lattes and a baby bottle warmed by the barista, who nearly dropped it when she realized who was sitting at her counter. Are they babysitting? A girl at the next table whispered into her phone. Her TikTok went viral within minutes, racking up millions of views with the caption, "Millie Bobby Brown casually babysitting in NYC." By the time they stepped back out into the Manhattan streets, the paparazzi had multiplied. Cameras flashed like lightning, capturing Millie's protective stance near the stroller and Jake's calm hand resting on the handle. Every image told a story, and fans were left desperate to know which version was true. Some swore the baby was a niece from Millie's side of the family. Others claimed Jake's cousin had recently had a child, and the couple was just helping for the day. But then came darker whispers. Was this a test run for parenthood? That night, gossip blogs plastered headlines across their front pages. Millie and Jake's baby stroll shocks NYC, future parents? Or just babysitters? Paparazzi catch tender moments with mystery infant. The speculation spread beyond gossip circles. Major entertainment outlets picked up the story, adding their own dramatic spin. Some analysts called it a carefully staged PR move, while others believed it was a real glimpse into Millie's private dream of becoming a mother. But while the world debated, Millie and Jake slipped into their black SUV, the baby seat safely strapped in the back. Millie looked out the window, her eyes catching the reflection of flashing bulbs. Jake squeezed her hand, a small smile tugging at his lips, as if they both knew something the rest of the world didn't. And that was when the most shocking rumor of all began to circulate. An anonymous source hinted that the baby wasn't just a family member or friend's child. No, this source claimed the infant belonged to someone much closer to them. The world gasped, fans argued, and New York buzzed with curiosity. But the truth? That would come later. For now, the city had seen only the beginning of a story that would spin into glamour, secrets, and a twist no one could have imagined. The park stroll mystery. The next morning, Central Park was alive with the usual sounds of New York. Joggers' sneakers pounding the pavement, children chasing pigeons near the fountains, and the distant tune of a saxophone player filling the crisp autumn air. But that day, the park had an unexpected centerpiece. Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bongiovi, strolling through the wide paths with the same mysterious baby that had set the internet on fire the night before. Millie wore a beige trench coat belted tightly at the waist, paired with oversized sunglasses that covered half her face. Jake kept it simple in a white t-shirt and bomber jacket, his golden hair falling loosely across his forehead. But their fashion choices weren't what captured attention. It was the stroller gliding gently in front of them, and the baby's tiny head bobbing inside as she giggled at the world around her. Fans hiding behind trees whispered in awe, snapping shaky phone videos. Paparazzi lenses flashed from behind benches. Every click seemed to stitch the couple tighter into a web of speculation. Was this a family trial? Were they announcing something bigger? As they stopped near a quiet pond, Millie lifted the baby into her arms. The moment froze like a movie still, her engagement ring sparkling against the baby's soft blanket. her lips brushing the child's forehead. Jake, standing close, adjusted the blanket with a protective touch. The paparazzi captured it all, and within minutes, tabloids had new material. Millie and Jake go full parenthood mode in Central Park. This doesn't look like babysitting anymore. Fans demand answers about mystery infant. But here's where the story twisted. A fan who claimed to have been in the park uploaded a TikTok livestream. In the background, you could hear the fan whispering, "Wait, is that their baby? Or are they covering for someone?" The video went viral instantly, with comments spiraling out of control. Some suggested Millie's older siblings might have entrusted her with babysitting duties. Others hinted at Jake's extended family. But then a darker rumor crept in. Whispers that the baby belonged to a close friend in crisis, and Millie and Jake were stepping in to help. The idea painted them as secret heroes, taking on more than just fame and red carpets. As the couple moved through the park, a small crowd formed, pretending not to follow but clearly trailing behind. Strangers stopped and pointed. Parents with strollers slowed down just to catch a glimpse, and whispers traveled faster than the fall breeze. Jake noticed first. His eyes darted toward the growing crowd, then he leaned into Millie's ear, murmuring something that made her glance nervously over her shoulder. They quickened their pace, but the stroller's wheels made it impossible to disappear into the park unnoticed. That's when the paparazzi got bolder. A photographer shouted, "Millie, is that your child? Jake, are you two parents now?" Another yelled, "Are you hiding a pregnancy?" Millie's lips tightened. She hugged the baby closer, shielding the tiny face from flashing bulbs. Jake's jaw clenched as he placed one arm around her shoulders, guiding her back toward the park exit. But their silence only fueled the storm. By the time they reached their SUV, a wall of cameras surrounded them. The baby began to cry from the noise, her little voice piercing through the chaos. That was the photo that exploded everywhere. Millie's worried eyes locked on the infant, Jake shielding them with his arm, and a caption that screamed, "Celebrity parents in distress." That night, talk shows lit up with debates. One host teased, "Did Millie Bobby Brown just soft-launch motherhood?" Another argued, "This is either the best-kept secret in Hollywood or the most confusing babysitting gig ever." But then came a new twist. A blurry photo surfaced on Twitter, allegedly taken before the couple entered the park. It showed Millie handing a pacifier to someone in a black SUV, a woman whose face was hidden behind oversized sunglasses. Some fans speculated it was Millie's sister. Others were convinced it was a close family friend. The mystery deepened. While the internet raged with theories, Millie and Jake remained completely silent. No statements. No clarifications. Just more glamorous images of them strolling through New York, the baby always by their side. The penthouse secrets Tribeca at night shimmered like a painting. Street lamps cast soft halos on cobblestones, and the luxury high-rises sparkled like glass jewelry boxes against the dark Manhattan sky. At the heart of it, one penthouse window drew the city's eyes. Paparazzi lenses pointed upward, trying to peek past sheer curtains where Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bongiovi had just disappeared, carrying that now famous baby. The penthouse itself was no ordinary space. Rumored to be worth over $7 million, it sat on a quiet street, its private elevator guarded by discreet security. The lobby smelled of white lilies, and the marble floors gleamed under crystal chandeliers. Residents were used to celebrities coming and going, but this night was different. This night, whispers followed every movement. Why bring a baby here? Inside, Millie slipped off her trench coat and laid the baby on a soft cream sofa. The child gurgled happily, clutching the stuffed elephant she carried everywhere. Jake adjusted the thermostat, making sure the room stayed warm, while Millie knelt beside the little girl with a tenderness that felt maternal. Outside, the world was far from tender. Paparazzi crowded the block, flashes going off every few seconds. One daring photographer climbed halfway up a fire escape, trying to get a better angle of the penthouse window. And online, hashtags exploded, "Chucker Millie Mom," "Baby Bongiovi," "Shock NYC babysitting," or more Twitter threads turned into mini detective cases. Fans zoomed in on stroller photos, analyzing every detail, the baby's blanket, the diaper bag, even the bottle Millie carried. Some claimed it was a boutique brand only sold in Europe. Others swore the toy elephant had once appeared in Millie's own Instagram story months ago. Conspiracies spun like wildfire. Meanwhile, inside the penthouse, the evening grew stranger. At around 9 p.m., a black SUV pulled up outside. A tall woman in oversized sunglasses and a long coat hurried toward the building, ducking her face away from cameras. Security let her in without hesitation. Within minutes, she was upstairs. Neighbors later whispered that muffled voices could be heard through the penthouse walls. Some claimed they heard the woman crying. Others said her voice sounded frantic, almost desperate. But no one knew for sure. What they did know was that she left less than an hour later, without the baby. That was when speculation hit a fever pitch. Tabloids published dramatic headlines the next morning. Secret meeting in Tribeca, woman leaves without child. Millie and Jake shelter baby overnight. But why? Mystery guest linked to hidden scandal? Talk shows replayed paparazzi footage on loop. A panel of gossip experts debated whether the woman was a family member or perhaps someone from Jake's side. One commentator leaned in and whispered to the camera, "If this was just babysitting, why the secrecy? Why the late-night meeting? Something bigger is happening here." Inside the penthouse, the night was quieter but no less tense. Millie rocked the baby gently near the floor-to-ceiling windows, the city lights twinkling below. Jake leaned against the glass, scrolling through his phone as notification after notification buzzed with headlines about them. "They're not going to stop, are they?" Millie whispered, her voice soft but heavy. Jake shook his head. "No, but maybe it's better this way. At least people are paying attention, for the right reasons." Millie looked down at the child in her arms. For a moment, her expression softened into something almost glowing, like a woman who had discovered a secret happiness she didn't want to share with the world just yet. But the world wouldn't wait. At dawn, the first grainy photo leaked, taken by the daring paparazzo on the fire escape. It showed Millie inside the penthouse holding the baby against her chest, her engagement ring catching the early light. The headline screamed across social media, "Millie Bobby Brown, a mother in Manhattan?" The internet erupted. Fan pages celebrated, posting edits of Millie with captions like, "She was born to be a mom." Critics accused her of staging it all for attention. And somewhere in the chaos, an anonymous tip reached a major gossip site, claiming the baby's real identity was tied to a scandal involving another celebrity. But the site didn't reveal names, not yet. Instead, they promised an exclusive reveal within 48 hours. The gossip leak. The morning sun painted Manhattan in soft gold, but for Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bongiovi, it didn't bring peace. Outside their Tribeca penthouse, paparazzi still camped like soldiers, waiting for the next move. News vans parked at the corner. Drones buzzed overhead, trying to capture hidden glimpses through curtains that stayed firmly shut. The internet was in chaos. Gossip accounts teased the biggest revelation of the year. Instagram stories popped up every hour with bold claims. Millie is secretly raising a baby. Jake is covering for a scandal. The child belongs to someone famous. Fans fought online wars in the comments. One camp defended Millie fiercely, calling her compassionate and maternal. The other whispered that the silence meant guilt. But inside the penthouse, the mood was anything but glamorous. Millie sat cross-legged on the cream sofa, the baby nestled in her lap, clutching the stuffed elephant. Her usually glowing face was pale, her lips pressed tight. Jake paced the living room, his phone buzzing nonstop with calls from his manager, his father's publicist, and even curious family members. "They're not letting this go," Jake muttered, running a hand through his hair. "Every outlet wants a statement. My dad's team says it's already affecting his name, too." Millie looked up, her voice low but steady. "And what about her?" She nodded toward the baby, whose innocent eyes sparkled with laughter, unaware of the storm outside. "We can't just hand her over like she's a PR problem." Before Jake could answer, the doorbell rang, a sharp, urgent buzz that cut through the room like a blade. Security announced a visitor, the same woman from the night before. This time, she didn't wear sunglasses. She stepped into the penthouse with trembling hands, her face hidden under a hood. Up close, she was striking, though clearly exhausted, her makeup smudged as though she had been crying all night. She clutched a small envelope in one hand and whispered, "They know." Millie's heart pounded. "What do you mean they know?" The woman set the envelope on the coffee table. Inside were printed screenshots, emails, text messages, and even a draft article prepared by a major gossip site. It all pointed to her. She was the baby's mother, a rising young model who had suddenly vanished from social events 2 months earlier. And the story was ready to go live. Jake read the pages, his jaw tightening. "They're going to drag you. They'll twist it into something ugly." The woman nodded, her eyes filled with tears. "That's why I begged you to help. You two are the only ones I can trust." But now... She broke off, her voice cracking. Millie put a hand on hers. We won't let them destroy you. Or her. She looked down at the baby, who giggled and tugged at her engagement ring as if unaware of the heavy conversation. But the clock was ticking. The gossip site had promised an exclusive reveal within 48 hours. Rumors had already leaked on smaller platforms, hinting at a celebrity model's child being hidden in New York. If they stayed silent, the tabloids would twist the story into scandal. If they spoke out, the truth might ruin reputations and careers forever. By late afternoon, chaos spread beyond gossip columns. Mainstream outlets joined the frenzy. One cable news show played footage of Millie cradling the baby, the host asking bluntly, "Is the Netflix star hiding motherhood?" Another headline read, "Tribeca Penthouse Baby Drama, Brown and Bon Jovi Under Fire." Meanwhile, Millie and Jake argued in whispers behind closed doors. Jake wanted to protect their privacy, to wait it out until the frenzy faded. Millie, however, felt the weight of silence pressing harder each hour. "They'll make her a scandal," she whispered furiously. "They'll turn that innocent little girl into a headline. And if we say the truth?" Jake shot back. "Do you think they'll stop?" "No, they'll only dig deeper. They'll dig into her family, her mistakes, everything." The baby began to cry, her tiny voice echoing through the marble penthouse. Millie scooped her up, swaying gently as her own eyes welled with tears. It was a moment of raw humanity, hidden behind luxury walls but caught in the crossfire of fame. That evening, as the city lights flickered on and the paparazzi flashes grew brighter outside, Millie's phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. This time, it wasn't a threat. It was a link. Jake opened it first, his face turning pale as the webpage loaded. The headline burned across the screen. "Tomorrow at noon, the shocking truth behind Millie Bobby Brown's baby secret." The storm breaks Manhattan woke up restless. By sunrise, every entertainment channel, every gossip blog, every Twitter thread was buzzing about one thing, the countdown. At noon, the promised exclusive reveal about Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bongiovi's baby secret was set to go live. Outside their Tribeca penthouse, the scene looked like a movie premiere. Paparazzi lined the street, their lenses pointed at the blacked-out windows. News vans hummed with satellites on their roofs. Fans gathered too, holding posters, phones in the air, chanting Millie's name like it was a protest and a celebration all at once. Inside, the penthouse air was thick with tension. The baby, blissfully unaware, crawled across the plush cream carpet, her laughter ringing like bells against the silence. Millie sat by the window, her face hidden in her hands, the engagement ring glittering like a tiny spotlight. Jake stood near the kitchen island, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in clipped, sharp tones with his father's publicist. "They'll destroy her," Jake muttered after ending the call. "They're going to spin this as abandonment, scandal, some secret affair. They don't care about the truth. They just want blood." Millie lifted her head, her eyes fierce despite the fatigue. "Then we tell our own truth before they do." Jake froze, staring at her. "You want to go public?" She nodded, her voice steady now. "If we stay quiet, they'll write the story for us. If we speak first, maybe we can protect her and the woman who trusted us." At that moment, the front door burst open. The model, the baby's real mother, rushed in, her eyes red from crying. She carried a phone in her trembling hand. "They've found me," she whispered. "Reporters are camped outside my apartment. They know my name." She dropped onto the sofa, tears spilling as the baby reached out and patted her face, cooing. The room went silent for a beat, an innocent gesture in the middle of chaos. But outside, the storm was only growing. At 11:30 a.m., Twitter exploded. Screenshots circulated of the gossip site's leaked draft article. It claimed the baby was the child of the young model and an unnamed, high-profile partner who had abandoned her. The article teased Millie and Jake's involvement, painting them as complicit in hiding the child to save reputations. Gasps echoed online. TikTok went wild. Fans debated in real time, splitting into factions. Team Millie defending her kindness and loyalty. Team Scandal, convinced she was part of a dark Hollywood cover-up. By 11:45, the penthouse phones wouldn't stop ringing. Netflix representatives, Jake's family, fashion brands, even friends, they all wanted answers before the clock struck 12. Millie looked at Jake, then at the model. Her hands shook as she said, "We have 15 minutes to decide. Let them break us or speak for ourselves." Jake swallowed hard. "If we go live now, the world will hear your voice, not theirs." He glanced at the baby. She deserves that. The model hesitated, tears in her eyes. But if I speak, they'll know everything. Who her father is, why I left the spotlight, the truth I've been hiding. It won't just be about me. It'll destroy him too. The room went still. Him. The word hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. Millie's heart pounded as she realized what the model was saying. The baby's father wasn't some nameless man. It was someone powerful, someone untouchable, someone whose name could set Hollywood on fire. 55. Outside, the chants grew louder, the cameras clicked faster. The countdown ticked away. Jake grabbed his laptop and opened Instagram Live. "We don't have time," he said. "We tell the truth, right here, right now. No edits, no spin. Just us." Millie nodded, her hands trembling as she lifted the baby into her arms. The model sat beside her, her face pale but determined. Jake's finger hovered over the Go Live button. 59. The second hand ticked closer. The world was waiting, the truth unveiled. The penthouse felt like a pressure cooker. Phones buzzed nonstop. The chants from outside rose to a deafening hum. And on the coffee table, Jake's phone glowed with that ominous message. "If you reveal his name, you'll regret it." Millie's eyes burned with determination as she looked at Jake. "They're threatening us. Don't you see? That means the truth is bigger than we imagined." The model, still trembling, buried her face in her hands. "He won't let this go public. He has power, money, influence. He'll ruin me. And maybe you too." Jake clenched his jaw, pacing the marble floor. "We're already ruined if we stay silent. At least this way we control the story." 59. The world was waiting. Hashtags like Millie baby scandal and NYC truth were already trending globally. Entertainment news channels had countdown clocks plastered across the screen. Millions of eyes watched, waiting for the reveal. Millie stood, the baby perched on her hip. She looked striking, even in exhaustion. Blonde hair falling loose, engagement ring glowing under the chandelier light. She walked toward the camera, her voice steady despite the storm. "Start the live," she said. Jake's finger hovered, then pressed the button. Instagram Live, 12 p.m. Within seconds, tens of thousands of viewers flooded the screen. Hearts floated up, comments scrolled faster than anyone could read. Paparazzi outside cheered when they realized the couple had gone live. Millie spoke first. "We know there's been a lot of rumors these past few days, and we've stayed quiet because this isn't just about us. It's about an innocent child and a woman who deserves to tell her truth." The camera shifted. The model lifted her head, eyes red, but her voice clear. "This is my daughter," she said softly but firmly. "And yes, I've been hiding her from the spotlight. Because her father is a man who didn't want to be a father. A man too powerful, too famous to let the world know the truth." The live chat exploded. "Who?" flooded the comments. Emojis of shock, fire, and broken hearts filled the screen. Jake leaned closer to the microphone. "We won't say his name, not yet. But we will say this. This child deserves love, not scandal. And no one, no celebrity, no powerful figure should escape responsibility forever." For a moment, silence filled the penthouse. Then the baby, as if on cue, giggled into the microphone. The sound softened the tension, cutting through the chaos like a miracle. But the relief was short-lived. The comments turned darker. Some demanded the father's name. Others speculated wildly, tossing out names of A-list actors, musicians, even politicians. Within minutes, Hollywood father mystery was trending worldwide. Meanwhile, across the city, newsrooms scrambled. The gossip site, furious at losing their exclusive, published their article anyway. But it was vague, refusing to name names, only hinting at an A-list figure in the music industry. That was enough to ignite a firestorm. Fans began connecting dots, digging through old photos and timelines, throwing out wild theories. Inside the penthouse, the atmosphere grew heavier. The model sobbed quietly, relieved yet terrified. Millie wrapped an arm around her, whispering, "You're not alone anymore." Jake's phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't a threat. It was a call. He answered on speaker. A deep, commanding voice filled the room. "You've made a mistake. Take that video down or you'll regret crossing me." Millie froze. The model's face turned ghostly white. Jake ended the call without a word, his hands trembling for the first time. And then, another shock. Instagram Live suddenly glitched. The stream cut off mid-comment. leaving millions of viewers in confusion. Stream ended flashed across the screen. Did they pull it? Millie whispered, panic rising. Jake checked his phone. No, someone hacked it. Shut it down, the baby wailed, startled by the tension. Outside, the paparazzi shouted louder, unaware of what had just happened inside. Millie pressed her forehead against the baby's, whispering softly, "They can't silence us forever." At that moment, Jake received a text from an unknown number. He opened it and his face drained of color. He turned the screen toward Millie. It was a single photo, the baby, taken from outside the penthouse window, zoomed in through the curtains. Below it, a caption, "You're being watched."